Welcome to this tutorial of layouts. In the previous video, if you remember, we talked about edit layout section, which would have a separate video. Well, this is the one. Before I proceed further, I would like you guys to follow along with me and make pauses after each step that I do and replicate those steps so that you have a better understanding of what we are doing. Let us understand what layout is. Layout is basically comprising of different rows and columns. Okay, so if you can just look at this website, look at the screen, you have this first section which has uh, different. If you just hover your mouse over this, you can see that there are various sections that are being highlighted. So each section is made up of rows and columns. For example, if I just hover my mouse over this, you can see that this white section, this is a row, and this row is divided into three columns. This is for column 1, column 2, and column 3. And the center column has 4 sub rows: sub row 1, 2, 3, and 4. Similarly, if you scroll down the website, you have another example here. You can see that there are 3 columns which have, this is column 1, column 2, or column 3, or you can also say that this is a single row which is divided into 3 columns, and the center column is again has 2 rows: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, so it has 5 rows. Okay, so this is what basically layout means, as in it's like a combination of different rows and columns which are editable. Now we'll see what are the 2 modes of entering this layout section. So if you're editing this page and then you want to get into the layout section, there are 2 ways. The first one is just by accessing this top bar of layout. You just click on that layout button over there, and there you go, you're into the layout section. As you can see on the left side panel, you have columns and rows, okay, to work on each of them. And the other way you can do that is, I'll just close this. The other way you can do that is you can just hover your cursor over any of these sections. Let us say if I hover over this, the row layout is highlighted. I just click on that, and then I have entered the edit layout or edit row or column section. We'll now see how we can arrange these rows and columns. Okay, so on your screen, if you can see that whenever you click on any of these sections, it gets highlighted. Now I'm in the column section. Now let us say if I want to add a column to the left of this, I'll just click on column. Now add an empty. We have the section called add empty, and click on column left, and there you go, you have a column which is added on the left. Now we'll do the same over here. We'll just select this and then wait, let me just delete that, and yeah, now when I click that and add a column to the right, so I added a column to the right. So now we can perform the same action with the row as well. So in order to select the entire row, if you just hover your mouse over this green icon, you can see select row. It highlights as select row, but there's a select row button that pops up. You just click on select row, and you can see that there's a small blue highlight that is haloing around our row. And what you can do is you can then add an empty row up. As you can see, once I click that, there's an empty row that has been added up. And then now since our default row is selected, once you click on add a row down, you can see that there's one row that has been added on the bottom. Okay, now these can be individually resized. We'll see that how we can do that. Now let's see how we can resize these columns. Okay, I'll just click on a default column, and or any column. You can just choose any column and hit a resize. Okay, so you can resize by percentage. Here if you can see, it's by default it is 24.86 with a huge decimal number over here. Now let us say you want a custom or you have your own dimensions in mind. For this example sake, I'll just change this to 5, and then let's take 45, 45, and then 5. Yeah. So if you can see that when we changed it to 5, 45, 45, and automatically with the remaining percentage it came as 5. Okay, and now we will hit back. So you can see that this has been resized according to our needs. We'll see one row operation what we can do. So I'll just select the row again. The row has been selected, and if you see, once the row is being selected, it by default switches to this row section in the left side panel. Okay, we'll try to edit the background color. Okay, once you select the background color, it takes you to this color selector, and I'll just enter a value or a color that I like. So I'll be using this color. And see, immediately it takes an effect on the entire row, and the color changes. We can, if you want, we can play around with the opacity to see what kind of what is the strength of the color that we want to put. And if we want, we can individually change the colors of the columns. Let's say I want to change this color, so I'll click on this and edit background color, and I'll be choosing this color over here. Okay, similarly I'll do the same for this column over here. Now if you want to delete these rows or columns that you have created, let us say you have accidentally created one or more of these columns, we'll try to delete this. You can simply highlight this and click on this, delete column, remove column. That is one way of doing it. And the other way of doing that is once you selected it, instead if you don't, you can also click on delete column over here, and that's how you can delete it. Now in case you want to delete a row, what you need to do is you can just simply click on a row. Let us say I want to delete this row. I'll click on select a row. Okay, and then you have an option called delete row, and there you go, this entire row has been deleted. We can rearrange columns the way we want. Let's say if I want to arrange this below this, so now by default my row has been selected, so I'll just click on row down. So as you can see, the row has moved down on this. I'll bring it back up by clicking on row up. The same operation can be done with columns too. We have two columns here. Let's say if I want to move this column, I'll just click on move column to the left, column to the right. Okay, yeah, the column has moved to the right. We'll do this similarly. We'll do it with this column to the left. Okay, now we'll send the columns back where they were before. Column to the left, like this. Column to the right. Sorry, column to the left. There you go. So similarly you can make changes to both of them. Remember, rows and columns with content can always be moved up and down. When we see that, when I say that, like Like I've selected the entire row which has content in this, like with this the picture of a woman and this uh, text. It was entirely moved, so this can be possible where you do not have to just move individual rows. The entire row can be moved. We can perform multiple actions on rows, and to do that we can just click on select multiple rows. Now if I want, I can select this one. Okay, if you can see in the corner you have a check mark. You click on that, scroll down, click on this. Okay, now I've selected two rows, and I'll click on copy selected. Now these columns are selected. Scroll down, I'll put it over here. Okay, once you click this, click on this, go to rows. We'll come over here and then we'll hit. We can just paste up or paste down, so I'll just click on paste down. There you go. So all the rows that we copied and we pasted again, and so they have been created here. I'll just delete these. So if you have observed, when I clicked on delete, it was deleting individually. So it was deleting the columns instead of the rows. So in case you want to delete multiple rows at once, what you can do is you can again click on select multiple rows. Selected this, remove selected, and there you go. Those columns have been deleted. Those rows have been deleted. So once you edited the entire layout, in order to save this, you have to click on apply layout. Now this has been changed. All the changes that you have made have been changed, have been saved. If you remember from our page actions video, we had the capability of saving templates. We can do the same with the layouts here. Well, again, open the layouts window. And mind this, you will not find this option in the column section. You just have to go to the rows section, and then you have to click on save template. You can select the template name. I'll rename this as header footer. And click on save template. Close. Now you can do that by adding a page, choose template, category, my templates, header footer. I'll just click on the plus icon and it will create a new page with the template that we have saved as header footer, you can see, and this has been added to the dynamically it is being visible over here. Now if you can see that the template name by default has been assigned to this new page that has been created. So in order to change that, we can just click on this and rename page. We'll rename it as a review, and that's it. The other way you can add the layout section or access the layout section is by this add content button. If you just hover your mouse over this column, you'll get an add content over here button. So once you click that, you have additional options. I'll click on this add section. So if you see, it directly takes me to that add section category, add section my content template list. So I can just click on use this, as because you recently used this, this is available by default. And see, done.